So it's a problem with all electronic devices. If they run on a battery, eventually the battery is going to run out. For the Deebot N79S here, it happened a little sooner than I thought it would, in about 2 years to be exact, maybe a little more. Hello, I'm Wanderer001, and this is going to be a quick demonstration of how to actually replace the battery in your Deebot N79S. Now, it will be very similar for any Deebot products, ECOVAC robo vacuums, and I just want to say that while it may seem like a daunting task to replace a battery, it is not terrible in any way, shape, or form. I am not super handyman, and I'm able to do this in under 10 minutes. Now, I will say also that the light here is showing that it's fully charged. Well, this is because through the magic of editing, I've already replaced the battery and tested the battery to see if changing the battery actually was the problem with my ECOVAC, and it was. So to start this process, what you do, you turn over your ECOVAC, and you will notice right up here, this is your battery panel. So let's actually take a look at how simple it is to replace this battery. First, you'll flip the ECOVAC over, locate the battery compartment, which is right here on the front, and then just take a little screwdriver here, bring that into focus, and we will open up the back panel. And I'm going to try and do this around a tripod, so I don't know how easy this will be to see. Hopefully, unscrewing a back panel makes for riveting content, but here we go. Take those out. Ooh, and you can actually see the amount of dust and hair that get picked up in that panel, even though it is closed off. So it does look rather dusty in there. So this is the original battery, the OEM battery that came from ECOVAC. So dust and all, here is the original that came from ECOVAC. Here is the replacement that I picked up, which was cheaper. And if we look at it, the original has a 2500 milliamp, this is a 2600 milliamp, and voltage, the original was 14.4 volts to 36 watts, and the new one is 14.4 volt, 37 watts. But the beauty of this is, if you look at it, it's really simple. It's just a little connection here. All right. So we have to push this up and then slide out. You may need the assistance of a secondary if you have little girly hands like I do in order to get the battery out. We'll set that aside. We will take our new battery and we will connect it the same way. You'll notice that there's holes for your pins to connect into, and we just line it up. On this side you've got pins, and the top we'll just line it up like we did last time. And you will know you have power once you hear what you heard. Give it a little tug to make sure it's not going anywhere, and we just drop it back into the battery compartment. And seal it back up. Now I'm gonna actually clean that out a little bit before I seal everything up, but that's just it. It's that simple to replace the battery. So for those of you who just wanted to see how to replace your battery, there you go. Easy peasy, not terrible at all. This is actually the original OEM battery that came with the ECOVAC. Now the one that I put in here was slightly different. It was a aftermarket battery that costs $10 less than the original ECOVAC. The original ECOVAC battery is about $35 depending on where you find it. I'll have the link for that in the description, as well as the not OEM battery that I used, which is a third-party battery, which has slightly larger capacity, which is $10 cheaper, so $25 battery also listed in the description area below. Now, because I did not use the OEM battery, there are a few things that I noticed. One, it takes slightly longer to charge than it did when I had the original battery. Two, that also gets me slightly longer runtime when it's out and about doing its thing. 3, I did notice that the application itself, when it shows that the ECOVAC is in the red or the battery should be dead, I actually got an extra 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what mode I was using, with the new battery with the higher capacity. So if you don't mind those few caveats, the longer charge time and the app not quite being exactly what it should be in notifying you when it's totally dead, then save $10, don't get the OEM battery, and, you know, in 2 years or 3 years, hopefully now, when you have to replace your battery again, you'll save a little money. And I will say that I had researched it first because once it started dying on me, I noticed it was progressively shortening the cleaning time. When it got down to 30 minutes, I was like, okay, something's wrong with the vacuum itself. And then when it got down to like 10 minutes, I was like, all right, that's crazy, because I was doing multiple charges and multiple cleanings in a single day, when normally I could do 1 or 2 because it would be out there doing its thing. Replacing your battery for the ECOVAC N79S, not a terrible job at all, and for $25 if you don't get the OEM battery, you can have your ECOVAC back up and running in no time. With that being said, I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like, as that will help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here, you can always help fuel the next review by buying me a coffee, link in the description below. Last but not least, if you want to be notified when I upload a new video, you know what to do.